Good evening, folks. I said I'll pop on tonight, have a chat with you. I'm feeling quite optimistic. I'm feeling much happier than I was last night before the news broke that Martin O'Neill has decided to come back to Celtic on an interim basis until the end of the season. Now, last night I did say in the podcast that I was going to come back on if there was an update. But you know what? Hearing the news, I was absolutely buzzing. I was buzzing. I was busy doing other stuff. But what was what a relief. What a relief. You know, it's only 6 points in it, but we still actually have a chance now of actually pulling this back and showing why we're champions. So I'm going to go into the comments tonight. I know Rangers are currently playing at the moment against Aberdeen. They're winning against Aberdeen, but who cares about them? What matters is about us. What matters is getting our house in order, getting a striker in, getting a new goalkeeper, actually getting a reaction out of these players as well. I looked at the video today. Yeah, SJ, how are you getting on? Hope you're doing well. Green for go. Paul Cowan, good to see the names in. Share it if you can. Like the video. Please like the video. The channel's not really going up or down at the moment. It's like stuck in the same kind of jumble. So I'm quite patient that I will get over this little slum of why videos are not really being out there, getting 2,000 or 3,000 views. Don't know what's going on. Don't know if I'm restricted on YouTube. I don't know if people are just not arse listening to me. I don't really care. What matters is I'm here now, talking about Celtic, feeling a bit happier that Martin O'Neill's back in the door. And will we see signings? Will he actually get backed? I hope he's being told a couple of insurances that he will be backed in this window. Now, I'm not saying extremely like go out and spend 25 million in this window. I'm talking about maybe going out and spending about 15 to 20 million. Whoever doesn't want to be there, get rid of them. I'm sick of the speculation about Maeda. Is he happy if he's not happy? Simple facts is if it suits all parties and he wants to move on, move him on. We do have got a chance to win the league. You know what? I said this last night, and I'll say this again. If you asked me that question on Saturday night after that game, I would have said, not a chance. Not a chance. I just think with Martin working with these crop of players before for 37 days, getting wins. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to put this under the carpet, but we were getting results under Martin O'Neill. Some of the football wasn't the greatest because this is probably the worst Celtic squad we've seen in recent time. But if you can get senior players that can buy into Martin O'Neill, they don't have to buy into him. It's Martin O'Neill, for fuck's sake. One of the greatest managers to ever come into British football. So that alone, to work under him, would be unbelievable. And he says he got that spring. He talked about a couple of weeks ago on TalkSport. I know he did turn around. He said to the Celtic fans and plead with the Celtic fans saying, give Nancy a chance. And he said last night in his interview exclusive to Celtic TV that he has a bit of sympathy for Wilfred Nancy, the way it's happened. And look, I've no sympathy for the man. I've sympathy for the way that I've sympathy for the players. I've sympathy for the fans. I don't have sympathy for the board. I don't have sympathy for that gobshite Tisdale. But on a personal perspective, I don't care what Wilfred Nancy does. Don't care what he does. I don't care if he goes back to America and manages a team in the MLS. I don't care if he goes to a team in France. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. I don't care. But what matters is what we have now. We have a title race that we can beat Hearts if we really, really turn up and actually play to our levels like we were last season. Not this season. This season we've been absolutely brutal, but we need to discover the confidence. Discover. You're playing for a big club like this. We need to get it together. So Saturday players running up to the door. Tuesday morning, players running through a brick wall. That's the Martin O'Neill difference. And you know what? Not just Martin O'Neill and Green for goal. We give a little bit of appreciation for Sean Maloney, a bit of appreciation for Fozzie. You know, I'm not going to say Gavin Strachan, but a bit of appreciation for Steve McManus as well. Like, and obviously Steve, there was talks of Stevie Woods left and Stevie Woods is back in there. So really, really believe we have a chance now. But it's what we do in this window. We still have players to come back as well. We've seen clips of Taneki today training with Celtic after Tunisia. What beat was it, Tunisia or Algeria? I always get confused which country he plays for. They were beaten in the AFCON on penalties. So he's back in the mix. Jota is due back in 2 weeks' time. And Nacho's due back in 2 weeks' time as well. But we really need a proper striker. We need to go out and get a striker. I'm sorry, but Johnny Kenny, he may score the weekend against Dundee United. But we really need someone that's, that's that big man up front. I've seen these rumours going around 2 weeks ago that Yakamakas could be leaving PAOK already. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. Could be fourth club in the space of 3 years. Definitely not. Definitely not. Johnston, yeah. Hopefully Ali Johnston is back in March. Don't rush him back too easy, too quick, because we obviously know that he will be he'll end up getting another injury. No, he's meant to be back in 2 or 3 weeks. Jota. I read a couple of reports today, different pages and stuff saying that he's meant to be back. But time will tell. I'm sure there will be an injury update in the next couple of weeks, and if he's back in full training and he's, getting that physical contact in, and he's ready to go, hope so. I'm not holding me hopes too much on it, but a few people have said that he's meant to be back in 2 weeks' time, but they're not the physios of Celtic. Anyone can say someone's going to be back in 2 weeks' time, like I did, and can be clickbait, and it may not be true. Time will tell. The only word about we have to listen to is Martin O'Neill's mouth, and that's God honest true. It was good to see you in North Celtic, SJ as well. Now that's the thing. We need all fans back in that stadium. Even people love and hate the Green Brigade. We need the Green Brigade back in the stadium. We need the atmosphere. We need to just take a step back from the whole fans versus the board. Just take a step back. Let just Martin do his job. Let's get everyone inside like they were when Martin came back in there a couple of months ago. Let's just get everyone inside. Let's cheer the team on and push for victory against Dundee United on Saturday. It's revenge on the cards for Celtic. Celtic really need to go out there the way we played in Tannadice. Even though in the first half in Tannadice, we had a couple of chances. We could have been away and stuff like that, 3 or 4-0. But that was the story under Wilf and Nancy. We played a decent first half of football. In the second half, we'd crumble. Or in the first half, we'd be terrible. Second half, we'd be better. It just makes a difference. It makes a difference to the moods. Football, yeah, it's a sport and it's a football club. We love Celtic, but it affects your mind, affects your state of mind. And it's all about culture. It's all about belief. It's all about being optimistic. It's not, you don't want to be getting up and dreading your team playing against a team that's mid-table or a team that's down the bottom. Shouldn't be feeling like that. We're Glasgow Celtic. We're not fucking Aberdeen or that way. Should be feeling optimistic, and I think going into Saturday, he'll change to the back four. I don't know if he'll start Donovan right back, Tierney left back. Will Scales come back into the squad? Scales might get a lift now from Martin O'Neill being back in the door. Will Trusty get a lift again? The goalkeeper situation's a big one as well. Will we see Schmeichel keep his place, considering all the errors he's made over the last recent time? Will you see Sinsalo coming back in? Will it be even Doolan? You never know. SJ, what a difference a few days make. I was giving up my season ticket after Saturday. Now I'm buzzing to go back on Saturday. Well, to be honest with you, a lot of people were probably feeling the same situation. Feel like they didn't want to give the board up any more money going into next year. But you know what? I would say have patience. It's not going to just come out and fire on Saturday. We're going to go out and steamroll Dundee. Yeah, as I said, under Martin O'Neill, some of the football wasn't the most comprehensive, but we were digging in and getting results. Getting results. At least we know what we're in for. And we have until the end of the season. And maybe, I know a lot of people won't like what I'm going to say, but maybe if he highly regards Sean Maloney of leading that team out on the training pitch and being on them sidelines, pushing the lads, Sean Maloney might be in the shout in the summer or getting the permanent job. You never know. Stranger things in football. I know a lot of people might not put Sean Maloney as a candidate, but come on, it can't be as bad as Wilfred Nancy. It can never be as bad as Wilfred Nancy. Lou McCarty, Liam Brady, Tony Mowbray, John Barnes, they were all bad stints. But my God, Wilfred Nancy was the worst by far. And it's a name that a lot of Celtic fans will never get out of their heads. Thank you very much for the new membership to the YouTube channel. It's only 99 pence. I don't have many people tuning in tonight because obviously the game's on. It's understandable. I wouldn't bother me arse watching Aberdeen and fucking Rangers playing. Better things to be doing, talking to you, the Celtic fans. The sooner Atate, Ralston, Yang, Ingles, Maeda go, the better. Do you know what? I've been very anti-Yang over the few years, but I thought Yang was really good on the first half on Saturday. There's glimpses in Yang. There really is glimpses. Or who would you rather, Yang or Badakwisha? Let's be honest. I agree with Ralston. Like, Ralston needs to go. Atate is done. And he might find this bit of a spark under Neil, or he might be just worse. If Celtic need to be realistic, sell the players that do not want to be there. If there's inquiries about these players this month, send them. We have a midfield there. Yes, Ingles hasn't been great. Some of the games he's been absolutely poor and woeful, but he needs to make it. This is the business end for Ingles if he wants to save his Celtic career. He either has to play well at the end of the season, or he'll be sold. He'll be offloaded in the summer. Not forgetting one-arm bandit, Schmeichel. It's really sad that we're coming to the decision regards to Schmeichel, where he came in with a lot of experience. He done well. He pulled off some crucial saves in the Champions League last year, especially against Bayern Munich, even against young boys, some big saves. And now he's just completely washed up as a keeper. And there's a bit of sympathy there because he is a human being. We all make mistakes, especially in our job. We make mistakes, but he's not rectifying his mistakes. It continues the same errors, trying to save things with one hand, the opposite. The ball's going that way and he's trying with that hand. I'm like, oh God. His distribution of the ball. He just looks like, and people, someone said to me on Instagram yesterday, like, I basically said drop him for Saturday, and someone writes on the comments below, and they were like, but like, he isn't that bad if he's playing for Denmark. He isn't that bad because he's playing for Denmark, because maybe his dad was like his greatest keeper in Danish history, and maybe they're afraid to drop Kasper Schmeichel because he has so many caps now, over 100 caps for his country. Maybe they need that leadership in there, but he's been absolutely brutal this season. Even club and country. You look at the goals he's conceded. Like, don't get me wrong, Tierney's goal was a cracker for Scotland, but like, coming off your line, yes, you're chasing the game, and you're looking for your country to try get into a playoff or automatic qualification for a World Cup. The way he got dinked by Kenny McLean, like, Schmeichel and Hampden don't go. You look at his performance against St. Mirren at Hampden in the cup final, atrocious. But we'll look at the comments anyway. The big decider for the league will be who recruits the best in January. Martin O'Neill has the final say on incoming players. I hope he does have the final say. There's no point of Celtic going out and getting players from Israel and places like that we don't know who these players is. I'm not expecting us to go out and get a player that that's demanding 60 grand. We're not going to pay that wages. This is the thing. We're going against clubs in the Championship in England that pay better wages to players. It's like you're coming into a team. Yeah, it's Celtic. It's a big football club. They're 6 points behind in the title race. You want to be coming in and making a big impact. Some players hit the ground running. Some players take a bit of time, but we should we look at the squads. Right, let's just go on. Right, let's go on to transfer market and share the screen. Let's go through our squads. Let's go through what we have. All right, how's it going, Rob? Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's slowly creeping up on the podcast tonight. Get your questions in. Ask me the questions. Do I think Celtic are going to win the league? I think that we need the big recruit. I think we need to get the fans back in. We need everybody inside. We need Martin to be back. We need to go back to further back. And we need to get Johnny Kenny getting his finger out of his arse and Kasper Schmeichel starting feeling like a keeper again. A lot of things that need to be addressed. So let's click this here now. How's the picture quality? How's the sound? Let me know. So let me see. Celtic FC. There's our load now. All these stupid pop-ups. It's going to take its time. But while that is loading, I'm going to see what's in the comments because there's no news tuning in. We're just waiting for that to load now, folks. As you see on the screen. So the mouse is not as loud as it was. Thank God. Got a new mouse for Christmas. Right. So this is the squad that we have at the moment, right? Inamura is gone. These are the players that are coming in over the last 12 months, okay? Sinisalo should be playing on Saturday. Doolan is not getting a chance. He was obviously just for the Scottish homegrown players. Carter Vickers is still injured. We don't know the estimate how long he's going to be, probably till the end of the season. Liam Scales needs to turn up and start playing football again. Under Nancy is being absolutely atrocious. Austin Trusty was trying, but you got see Dane Murray. He had it. Like the game at Tynecastle just really scared him, but hopefully he'll get a chance again. Sarachi really want to see him come in and get a chance. I know he's only a loan move, no option to buy. The same with Herrero there. You could play Herrero right back. A bit of strength there. Maybe it'll be Kobe Donovan or Herrero. Hopefully he's not Anthony Ralston. Callum McGregor really needs to start turning up and pull them socks up. If we don't have a captain, a hard ass, someone that believes someone can get in hard, he needs to lead by example. And Callum McGregor really needs to step up. Really needs to step up. Big time. I just think he's been missing majority of the season. Some goals, but not enough leadership out on that pitch. Rio Atate, a lot of people are saying, look, he's 28 years of age. He's valued at 12 million. If we were to get even 10 million for him, we would be laughing. We should have sold him a couple of years ago when he would have been valued around 20 million. Arnie Ingles, as we know. We'd like to see more of Paulo Bernardo. I think Paulo Bernardo would be a good player for us if he got his chance. But sometimes Bernardo goes off the grid as well, like some players. Thiago Holmes is due back. I don't know if he's back in training or not. I didn't see any clips of him today. Luke McCown needs to step up. Dazen Maeda, we all know what Dazen can do. He's valued at 14 million. Jota is still out injured. As I said, people are saying could be back in 2 or 3 weeks. Balakwisha, I think he's on the AFCON now at the moment. Taneki's back from the AFCON. He was there for Tunisia. I thought it was Algeria. Negrin. You know what? Negrin hasn't done too bad. I just think because we've been playing bad in general, people are criticising Negrin, but he has contributed a good few goals so far. James Forrest, obviously one of our most experienced players, probably most experienced of them all in regards to Celtic shirt, but he needs to step up as well. Shinamada has not been good enough for Celtic. Inacho, he's been injured. Hopefully have him back in a couple of weeks. Johnny Kenny, he's been absolutely brutal under Wilfred Nancy. And Callum Osmond. I don't know how long Osmond's out for. I think it could be another couple of months. But we'll see what happens. So that's our squad. Let's be honest. It doesn't look like a lot of players. Doesn't look like a lot of players. Here's the players that we brought in. And there's the players that left. You know, would I call Palmer back? Definitely not. Lagerbielke left for obviously Braga. Taylor left. And I think Taylor was a big miss. Taylor is a big miss. As much as we all like Tierney, but Taylor, we should have kept Taylor. Should have kept him. It's just that was a bad decision yet again by that board. Should have kept Taylor. But let's see what people are saying in the comments. I think there's some play. Look at there's that guy Mulligan. Mulligan that plays for Hibs. Doesn't look like a bad player. Bowie looks all right for Hibs. That guy that plays for Motherwell, isn't a bad player. And I know this is I know a lot of you will probably say no to this, but would you go for Gogic off St. Mirren? Maybe we need about that bit of that physicality, a bit of a hard man in there. I wouldn't mind Gogic for a season. You know, I think he'd maybe do a bit better than some of the players that we have there. Let's see. I think we have a long way to go. We definitely have a long way to go. Like as I said, titles are not earned. Titles are not just won, they're earned. And you have to go into the trenches and take on teams. Like we have a difficult away trip coming up against Hearts away at the end of this month in Tynecastle. You know, that defeat still scars me, the last one. We have a difficult away trip to Falkirk coming up as well. And Falkirk are a good side. They're obviously in the top 6. They're pushing. So it'd be a difficult one. We missed the amount that Taylor used to have, giving the players on the park. That's it. He was a big senior figure in the dressing room. As much as we shouldn't be talking about Brendan Rodgers, but Rodgers spoke highly about Taylor, wanted to keep Taylor. But obviously Tierney didn't want to play second fiddle to Taylor, and that's understandable, you know, especially with a World Cup. Well, it wasn't guaranteed at the time that Scotland were going to win the World Cup. They were obviously doing well in the group, but obviously Tierney's goal got Scotland to the World Cup. But him and McLean. But the podcast is pretty good tonight. Full attendance. Go back to the back 4. And when some of these players come back from injuries, like the likes of Sarachi, the likes of Jota, the likes of Carter Vickers, but if we do see Carter Vickers again in Celtic short this season, and Johnston, we will build strength to strength going into the crunch games, into the business end of the season. It feels like it's already the business end of the season because we're chasing a 6-point gap, you know. Let me just check. Just want to check now and see what score that other game is. Let's see. Still 1-0 Rangers. How long is it? 38 minutes. 38 minutes. As it stands, they will go 3 points ahead of us, but we'll have a game in hand. So I'm not worried about it. Yep, it is domestic. 100%. 11 months ago we were playing Bayern Munich in the Champions League, nearly knocked them out. Look how bad. It's a decline. It is a decline. I was talking to someone today in my job. Shout out to Martin, of all names. Shout out to him. And he was telling me a couple of stories. Knows a couple of people in Celtic Football Club and stuff like that. And even he said, it's just a decline. It's hard to watch. It has to be one of the worst teams I've ever seen. I was like, it's not has to be. It is one of the worst teams. But this team can salvage maybe 2 trophies. We could have had 1 trophy down in the bag already, only for the failure of the board, the failure of recruiting someone that is absolutely shy. How's it going, Ellis? Hail, hail. Good picture there. What's that? Is that a carrot, is it? Is that a carrot? That was a 4-leaf clover and some person all like chilling there like a statue or something. Hail, hail. How's it going, Wilson? Hope you're doing good. Folks, I need to start telling you when I'm coming on live. This is the problem. These are just like probably getting a notification or probably getting the random just on YouTube seeing it me on the live. I need to start telling you. I'll probably be on live on Thursday. So I'm hoping to start the gym tomorrow and start losing a bit of timber. Start losing a bit of Portland timber. Because when I start feeling more energetic, I can start making more videos. When I start making more videos, you get the best out of me. When you get the best out of me, I'm more enjoyable to watch. Simple, you know? So the gym membership is bought. Hopefully I'll be backed. When Ange came in, it was a rebuild. This is not even a rebuild. This is stabilizing. This is about giving these guys a proper kick up the arse. They don't want to be sitting back at May and watching that title getting flown in a helicopter over to Edinburgh. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that at all. Yeah. Mate, that's Portland Stones, not timber. Aberdeen are awful. Aberdeen are brutal. The only reason they kept their manager for that long is because they beat Celtic in the cup final. Thanks to Casper. Thanks to how bad we didn't turn up on that day. How bad we took Aberdeen for granted. 2-0 Rangers. Jesus Christ. They're bleeding shite, Aberdeen. You know that? They really are. Is it still? It's saying 2-0. How's it going, Edwards? If you can all tap the screen and give us a good thumbs up, be really appreciated. A thumbs up. We got the 4D clover on. I've got me goalkeeper jersey on because I'm going to be playing in goal on Saturday against Dundee United. You know, I'm going to be like Paddy Kenny in goal for Celtic, but I'll do a better job than Kasper Schmeichel. You know, so yeah. How do you know what? I was looking at that clip today and looking at them doing the inside of Lennoxtown, and you could see the morale, the lads, and I heard one of them saying, "Oh, this is the team that we know." I don't know if that was Fozzie. I was like, "Wow," you know. But it's good to see him back in the mix. Mark Folleringham back in the mix. I was more excited about Fozzie coming back in than Sean Maloney, even though Sean Maloney was still in the club anyway. I don't know if these are all the same. You know, I don't like. You're looking at it. We just get through this. We get through this the rest of this season. We have 18 games to play. Every game is a cup. It's every game should be treated like a treble cup final in my eyes. Though the treble's gone, but treating in that intensity, like don't take teams for granted. We're all looking forward to seeing Martin O'Neill back on the sidelines in that trackie as well. But there was a bit of doubt in my head, would he accept the back, to be honest with you? Even though he did say in TalkSport that he was asked to stay on, he would have stayed on. There was that bit of doubt because it was so soon of what happened with Nancy. Well, we seen the videos last night in Kilsyth when he was at that Q&A, and he was the ovation he got when he took the call and accepted that he's going to be the next Celtic interim manager. So yeah, it's crazy to think we've been through 4 changes in the managerial position, and we're only January. Brendan resigning as declared, Martin coming in, Martin leaving on the 4th of December, and then Nancy coming in, then Nancy getting the sack, and then Martin's back. Do you wonder how fans feel so up and down? It's really not good for the brain. It's not good for the heart. You know, watching your team fall into shite in certain games, being second best. But hopefully this will change. Jim Goodwin's side, they're a decent team. and they'll come to Celtic Park and they'll still analyse our faults, even though we'll line out different, we'll be tactically different from what we were against Rangers, but it's working on the defence is a big issue as well. We're all saying we desperately need goals, we need that. What about our defence? That's the most important thing. The Celtic TV clip of today was really good. 7 minutes of instead of seconds. That's it, because they want to buy fans back. That's what it is. They want to buy fans back over because they know fans are angry. They know fans are frustrated. Fans are not frustrated at Martin O'Neill. Fans are frustrated at the board because they know that the guns were to their heads. Nancy to Aberdeen. Definitely not. Imagine. He would have been close going back to Columbus Crew if they didn't appoint the new manager last week. He would have been close, but nah, he's not going to Aberdeen. Definitely not. Probably a better chance of taking the Man U job at this rate. So I'm going to stay on for another 10 minutes. I will be back on Thursday night. I'll start putting out the team. I'd actually know. I'll do it right now. Feck it. We'll do it right now. We'll make it. Let's see. Right. Let's share this. Who in Europe is going to touch Nancy now? I hope no one touches him. And that's me being bitter because I've went sleepless nights after them games, stressing about Celtic. Don't want. Right, so here we go. Right, here we go. So this is my team for the weekend. If I had my way, now obviously I won't have my way because the man with the glass is going to have his way. So you know what? How do you even? I don't even know how you spell that guy's name. Do you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna have to check. 2 seconds. That Mexican guy. I'm trying to think of his name there. There. Araujo. Right. There we go. We have him now. Right. So this is a good little website, by the way, folks. It's called FOTMob. I use it for all my score updates and statistics. Trusty scales. Right. That's not really moving, but McGregor. Right. I'd have McGregor obviously in that holding role bit there, right? You know what? I think McCown has to prove himself. I'd put McCown in there. You know, I really would. Hatate. Jesus. Tate. Kenny needs to get his finger out. Yang. On Maeda. Now, what you could do is you could play Taneki on the left and put Maeda in the middle. That's another option as well. Or you can drop McCown and put Bernardo in. Have Bernardo in that role there. Have the two of them pushed up. McGregor more deep, and get him up more up the wing as well. Tierney up. You know, some people were saying in the comments the other night as well that it felt like we only had one centre back because we didn't. Ralston is not in his trade a centre back. Tierney in his trade is not a centre back. He's made plays centre back for Scotland a couple of times, but he's not a centre back. We all know that. But that would be the team I'd start against Dundee United at Celtic Park. I think McCown, obviously living in Dundee, playing for Dundee, lived in Dundee. Sorry, he'd be up to playing against his previous team's rivals, and he needs to make a point as well. Scales has to make a point big time. Scales has been so poor, but you know the guys will maybe get the lift in the night. Where's Ingles? Wouldn't start Ingles. Bring Ingles on. You know, yeah, fair enough. McCown did play right wing over in Holland against Feyenoord, and he thought he played pretty well. But no, you know what? Well, to be honest with you, like Rab, majority of the midfield has been pish. Hatate, McCown, Ingles, and even sometimes when Bernardo had a chance, he wasn't great. Like, there's no point just saying one player or the other. Like, it doesn't really matter who plays. What matters is these guys need to go out and get into the trenches and fucking fight for these 3 points and make Celtic Park a fortress again. Start playing football the Glasgow Celtic way. As this caption says, time to fight and play the Celtic way to win this title under Martin O'Neill. To say you're not just being given it, you have to graft and get it. So yeah, I know. As I said, same time you need a Tate to play as well, because if you want a Tate performing better, you get a better chance of his valuation going up in some aspect. I think Tate will be gone by the end of this window. And I think Celtic will have to listen to offers. He isn't the player he once was. Isn't that player? He dropped tails when Ange left. You know, any striker you look at, I don't know what type of striker we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna get a real tall physical striker. Are we gonna get someone that just plays off the shoulder? You know, what are we gonna get? You know, is there anyone in the league that would be sticking out for me? Bowie's probably the only one I can think of. We really need to look in the markets, and the most important thing, Celtic should be learning from the mistakes of not leaving it too late and putting a 2 million bid in, and it's not near the valuation. Like, look at that guy that went to from Anderlecht that went to Ajax. I don't think he's been playing well for Ajax. You know, that Danish guy. We could have had him. But I want to give a massive shout out to North Celts as well for the subscription tonight. I really appreciate it. Really do. But folks, I'm gonna leave it there. I'll be back on Thursday night. So thanks for watching the pod tonight. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the likes. Really appreciate it. Just remember, form is temporary, liquidation is permanent. Just remember that. So I'll speak to you all soon.